When exploring the Black and Elite Dangerous, do you choose the Diamondback Explorer due to its size, maneuverability, and low rebuy costs? Or do you choose the Asp Explorer? Easily one of my favorite ships in Elite Dangerous just due to how versatile it is. Or how about the Anaconda? It might not be the most maneuverable and have a real high rebuy cost, but it will most definitely get you to any location the quickest. It also fuel scoops stars like a boss. Welcome to my 3 favorite exploration ship builds in Elite Dangerous. I will be covering the Diamondback Explorer, the Asp Explorer, and the Anaconda. I'll show you which modules to buy, as well as how to engineer everything so you can get the maximum amount of jump range possible. Alright, let's jump into the builds. Here's my exploration build for the Diamondback Explorer. Specs out to 71.84 light year jump range, which is great. I do not have any hard points. For utility mounts, I have one single heatsink launcher, have it modified for lightweight 5, brings it down to 0.2 tons. For core internals, we have lightweight alloys modified out to heavy duty armor 5 and deep plating. Our 2A power plant is modified to an overcharge 5 with a thermal spread that will help with the extra heat generated from overcharging the power plant. Our 4D thrusters are modified for a level 5 dirty drive tuning, and they are stripped down to save a tiny bit more weight. We have a 5A frameshift drive with increased FSD range 5 and mass manager. Anytime you have a 5A frameshift drive or higher, always go for mass manager. We have 3D life support, which is modified out to lightweight 4, which saves us quite a bit of weight. We have a 1D power distributor. It's very important if you want to do any boosting at all that you get at least a level 3 engine focused power distributor with cluster capacitors. Our 3D sensors are engineered out to lightweight 5, which saves a little bit more weight once again. And last but not least, we went with a 4C fuel tank. That saves you 16 tons. You do not need a full-size fuel tank, but if you want to, you can. For optional internals, we went with a full-size 4A fuel scoop, a 4H Guardian frameshift drive booster. Our 3D shield generator is modified for enhanced low power shields level 5 and stripped down to save on weight. We have a 3A and a 2A auto field maintenance unit, which is very awesome for repairing your modules. We have 2 just in case you need one to repair the other. We have a 2G planetary vehicle hangar and 1 SRV to explore planets. Our detailed surface scanner is modified for 30% more probe radius. And last but not least, we have the Super Cruise Assist just in case you want to be lazy. If you notice, we have a little bit of a power issue. We're 0.88 milliwatts over, so let me show you how you can fix that. All you have to do is head over to your modules tab and then scroll down until you find your auto field maintenance units. Have your second one always turned into the off position. To do that, you just set it to the very lowest priority possible. This will ensure you never have any power problems. So let's cover the main benefits of the Diamondback Explorer. It has a low rebuy cost. It is very small, so it can land on planets very easily. It is very maneuverable. It will make a really nice exploration vehicle. The main drawback is, even with a 4A fuel scoop, which is the biggest one it can have, it is not big enough. That is why it is not my first choice. I mostly use my Diamondback Explorer as my bubble bus. This is my exploration build for the Asp Explorer. I use this ship more than any other ship in the game. It's probably by far one of my most favorite ships. It's so versatile, and it clocks out to a 69.04 light year jump range. I do not have any hard points whatsoever on this build, so let's get to utility mounts. I have a heatsink that's modified out to lightweight 5, which saves us on a bunch of weight. In our core internals, we went with lightweight alloys. I got that modified out to heavy duty armor 5 with deep plating. I went with a 2A power plant, and I have that modified out to an overcharge 5, and I have it monstered. We will have a little bit of heat issues, but it's not anything that the fuel scoop can't handle. You won't overheat while scooping stars. Our 4D thrusters have been modified for clean drive tuning 5, and they're stripped down to save just a little bit of weight. We have a 5A frameshift drive, and I have that modified out to increased FSD range 5 and mass manager. For our 4D life support, we have it modified out to lightweight 4, which saves us 3 tons of weight. Don't laugh too hard, but we have a 1D power distributor in this thing modified out to engine focus 5 with cluster capacitors. This gives us the ability to boost and saves us a lot of weight. Our 5D sensors are going to be modified for lightweight 5, which will save us quite a bit of weight and give us even longer jump range. Another instance of you can save 16 tons by getting a smaller fuel tank, so we went with a 4C fuel tank. Time to check out the optional internal loadout, and I'm going to go with a 6B fuel scoop, mostly for power reasons, a 5H Guardian frame shift booster, a 3D shield generator modified for enhanced power 5, and stripped down to save on weight. In this build, I'm going to have two 3A auto field maintenance units. I have the second one as backup just in case it needs to repair the other one. This is really handy to repair your modules. We're packing one 2G planetary hanger and one SRV. We also have a detailed surface scanner spec'd out to a +30 probe range and a super cruise assist if you would like to be lazy. This build also has a power issue, so in order to combat that, go over to your modules tab and then make your second auto field maintenance unit in the very lowest priority. In my case it's 4, and you'll never have a power problem. If there's any ship you're going to fork out a bunch of engineering materials on to engineer, let it be the Asp Explorer as your first ship. It is such a versatile ship. It might have a little less jump range than the Diamondback Explorer, but it will definitely outscoop it when it comes to refueling up at stars. The Asp is classified as a medium ship, even though it has a very low rebuy cost and has a very small footprint, so landing on planets is very easy. Last but certainly not least, we have my favorite exploration build for the Anaconda. It specs out to 79.42 light year jump range. Even though we have ample room, I don't bother with the hard points. In our utility mounts, I have a heatsink modified out to lightweight 5, of course, to save on weight. For our core internals, we start out with lightweight alloys. I of course have it modified out to heavy duty armor with deep plating. We have a 3A power plant to save on weight, and I have it modified out to overcharged power plant and stripped down to save even more weight. Even though we can have bigger thrusters, this is all about saving weight, so we went with a 5D, and I have it modified for clean drive tuning 5 and stripped down to save even more weight. With the Anaconda, we get to have a 6A frame shift drive, and you guessed it, I have it spec'd out to increased FSD range 5 and mass manager. We have a 5D life support unit modified out to lightweight 4. Went with the lightest weight power distributor could, which is a 4D, and I have that modified out to a level 5 engine focused power and stripped down to save even more weight. We're packing 8D sensors on this thing, and I have them modified out for lightweight 5, of course, to save the most weight possible. This is another instance where you can scale back your fuel tank to a 4C fuel tank and get a 16-ton capacity. Never fear, I have another 8-ton in the optional internals. Speaking of optional internals, I have a 7C fuel scoop in my Anaconda. It's mostly for power reasons, as well as that's plenty for scooping stars. I also have a level 5 Guardian frame shift drive booster. In this build, I went with two 6A auto field maintenance units. It really does get the job done quick when you need to repair your modules. Went with a 3D generator to give us a little cushion when landing on planets, and I have it modified out to enhanced low power 5 and stripped down, of course, to save more weight. I have a 2G planetary vehicle bay hanger in here. If you want, you can go with a bigger one. I just go with one just to save on weight mostly. Time to scroll down to the 8-ton fuel tank. If you want, you can shed that fuel tank if you're going to be around the bubble, and you will get over 80 light year jump range in this thing. For long range exploratory missions, take the extra fuel tank, it will help you. I also have a detailed surface scanner, which I do need to get engineered out all the way to level 5 probe radius. It's only at level 1 right now. Last but not least, super cruise assist in case you want to be lazy out in the black. Turning your second auto field maintenance unit into the lowest priority will fix your power issues. If you can afford it, the Anaconda is the king of all exploration ships. You can add a mining laser to the hard points, you have room for cargo, you can even have repair limpets to repair your hull just in case you take damage out in the black, and you would still outjump the Diamondback Explorer. When it comes to refueling at stars, it will outscoop both of those ships, which will save you much needed time between jumps. The only two drawbacks are going to be rebuy cost as well as trying to land on very rough terrain on planets or moons. For me, the Diamondback Explorer is mostly just a bubble bus. When I progressed through Elite Dangerous, I completely bypassed the Diamondback Explorer and went right for the Asp Explorer since I had enough money to buy it. I really wanted to fall in love with the Diamondback Explorer, but unfortunately it's just a taxi service for me. One thing I will mention that I do love about the Diamondback Explorer is it has some of the coolest engine sounds in the game. If you're new to Elite and you're just getting into engineering, save up all those materials, do me a favor, and stuff them all into the Asp Explorer. It might have a little less jump range, but it will most definitely outscoop the Diamondback Explorer at stars and refill much faster. If you can't afford the Anaconda, this is the exploration vessel that I would recommend that you pour your engineering into. The Asp is my go-to ship for all engineering materials gathering, and you can also outfit this for mining and make a ton of money to get into higher tier ships. This Explorer-Conda build has just under 80 light years jump range. If you take off that smaller fuel tank, it definitely gets over 80. If you can afford the Anaconda, then most definitely get one. Stuff all your engineering materials in there and you will most definitely have an Explorer-Conda. This is the build I will be taking out to Colonia in upcoming episodes, so thank you for joining me today, and I will catch you in the next episode, Commander. Peace.